Speaking as someone who's neurodivergent, I find that birthdays can be hard because birthdays are those moments in your life where you may want to celebrate your life, but for me, it's a celebration of your life embedded in a community. And as someone who has had often transitory, fleeting relationships, either because I've moved around a bit or I've just been a private introverted person, and also because of friendship drift, I often haven't had a consistent core group of people to celebrate and mark these occasions with. I don't necessarily celebrate a lot of other holidays because for me, those are things that you celebrate with family, and I'm not in touch with mine. Birthdays, I do like to mark because it's an opportunity to come together and feel a sense of community. And they can be a little bit upsetting or difficult. Let's say difficult, because when you don't have that group of people around you to mark that occasion, it can feel very lonesome and isolating. I'm wondering if you've experienced this as well as somebody who's neurodivergent, if you find birthdays can be troubling or invoke feelings of solitariness or isolation or loneliness. I've been lucky in that a lot of the time when I've celebrated my birthday, I've had people to celebrate it with, but from year to year, those people might not always be around. And it's hard reflecting on that when your birthday comes around and that person no longer is in your life. And for many neurodivergents, this kind of phenomenon of having transitory friends, or inconsistent or not strong friendships, or not a consistent core group of people to spend time with, I think this is a trait that, or a quality of life that is replicated in many neurodivergent lives, because we are often outsiders. We might be isolates who like to our own company, and introverts who prefer to recharge alone. We find social interaction draining for many reasons. Life already is taxing, so in our free time, we may not want to socialize or socially engage as much because we're trying to preserve our energy or recharge our energy from, let's say, a working week or going to school or whatever it is that we find taxing or draining. So the first factor that leads to us not being as socially connected is that. And the second is social anxiety. A lot of us feel anxious about how other people might perceive us and if we might be rejected because we're different and we show up and behave and talk and think differently. And then the third is friendship drift. And this is a phenomenon that's not exclusive to neurodivergent people. I'm sure plenty of neurotypical people in this day and age experience that as well. Friendship drift happens because the thing that initially brought you together, whether it was a shared workplace, community, environment, or geography, is no longer present. And the glue that was holding you there was circumstantial and a result of those factors. And those factors changed. You left that community, that workplace, that environment, and then you didn't have as common interaction with people as often as you did before, and then communication becomes less frequent, and the social glue doesn't hold you there as much as it used to. And I think that's the nature of modern life, is that a lot of that glue just isn't there like it would have been, let's say, 50 years ago. We're not as embedded in community and social groups as we used to be. Tribes are very fractured. And this is especially the case for neurodivergence because we don't necessarily have a tribe other than each other, and our relationships are often online because we find each other online through meme culture and through social media. And that's wonderful. I'm glad that that exists. I also think that many of us don't necessarily have, like I described, a core friendship group, and the core group of people that you can rally around and experience these special moments with. And so special occasions like birthdays can be lonely. And I think our introverted nature, our need for seclusion, many of us, to recharge, contributes. I think also the fact that we don't necessarily know how to participate often in what's called social grooming or allo grooming. We don't know how to do the things that necessarily keep relationships alive and sustain them. I personally speaking, I'm pretty good with communication. I like to keep people on my chat list at the top, pinned to the top, so I can see them every time I log into the app, because otherwise I suffer from object constancy and I'll forget they exist and forget to reach out to them. I also don't take the initiative as much as I know I should to maintain relationships because I'm busy. My cognitive load is always saturated with other tasks and other responsibilities. So to think of people, that doesn't often come second nature to me. I also am not the greatest at giving compliments, saying the nice things. Like doing the social grooming behaviors of like compliments or attuning to people and asking the necessary questions to show that I care about them. Even though I don't always do that. So I think people feel that absence, and that's part of the relational glue that's often lacking in a lot of neurodivergent relationships. Is we communicate and interact in our own style that doesn't necessarily align with social expectations of neurotypicals. So that can also contribute to friendship drift, lead to us feeling this sense of isolation. So have you experienced friendship drift? Have you experienced loneliness or feeling of isolation when these special occasions roll around and you want to celebrate them with people and you don't necessarily have people to celebrate them with? I want to check in and see what your thoughts are on this and what your experiences have been like.